Real quick before this video starts, I just want to say that I messed up the recording of the audio on this video. Yeah, I forgot to record the audio to multiple tracks like an idiot, so I can't really mess with the levels of everything, so it's probably going to be a little unbalanced. Apologies for that in advance, but besides that, enjoy the video. One more thing, this video had to be heavily edited down due to copyright. Same thing I had to do with like my Dark Side of the Moon video, like the pacing kind of stinks. Shout out to YouTube for the copyright system. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Human Reviews channel, and today we are listening to Animals by Pink Floyd. This is one I am very excited for. I have heard two Pink Floyd albums. I have heard Dark Side of the Moon, and I've heard Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Dark Side of the Moon, a little overrated, but still an incredible, amazing front-to-back experience of an album. Absolutely immaculate. And then you have Piper at the Gates of Dawn, which is mid as hell. That album kind of stinks. I don't like it. I think it's too ambitious of a debut, and it just doesn't click with me. But we are listening to Animals now, okay? And I have faith that this is going to end up being my favorite Floyd album. Why? Because I like long songs, and we have a 17-minute track, an 11-minute track, and a 10-minute track making up the vast majority of this album's runtime, and that excites me. Yeah, this thing is 5 songs, 41 minutes. Yeah, I don't think I've heard anything off of this either, which is adding to my excitement. This is going to be a completely fresh listen. And with that being said, I think I'm just going to get straight into this. Track 1, Pigs on the Wing 1. Yeah, these Pigs on the Wing songs start and finish the album. My favorite Floyd cover? I really like the cover for Animals.
For pigs on the wing.
Okay, that was Pigs on the Wing 1. Interesting opener. I'll give it that. It's interesting. It's a nice tone setter, I suppose. Has some interesting lyrics going on, talking about... let me actually go back and look at these lyrics, because I feel like it's probably setting something up that I'm missing. So it turns out the Pigs on the Wing songs aren't really connected to the album all that much. They're essentially, according to Genius, where I look deeper into the lyrics, are meant to be like love songs from Roger Waters to his wife, and they're not really connected to the albums in any meaningful way. But still, I feel like they are decent, still tone setters. Even though they aren't lyrically connected, I still think they do a good job of setting up the overall like aesthetic and feeling of the album, which I think is really nice. My score on the song hasn't changed, which I'll be getting to in a sec. But yeah, I just wanted to stop in here and mention that I now understand what the song means, and I think it's still a solid opener for the album. I feel like I'm probably going to understand this track more on a second listen with the context of the rest of the album, but on a first listen, I'm just going to say this. Decent opener for the album, does a decent job of setting up the tone, introducing me to the world that the album's trying to set up. I think this is solid. I would give it a low 8, like an 8.2 or an 8.3. This song actually grew on me to be a low 9 further on into the recording, but I thought I'd just mention it here so I don't have to include that clip later. Bear in mind that that score is probably going to change on a second listen with context of the rest of the album. So don't worry, that score may increase, and I may think this is a brilliant opener based on a second listen before I get this video edited. Next track, Dogs. Peak music incoming, yeah.
Pick out the easy meat with your eyes closed.
17-minute track, by the way.
After a while, you can put the knife in. You know, it's gonna get harder as you get older.
Really nice bass sound as well. Wow. The way everything dropped out there, that was amazing.
Touch the soul.
Incredible switch up. You got the keys leading it as well. That's really cool. Yeah, the writing is really strong. I'm not fully like paying attention to the writing. It's really the instrumental that I'm focusing on right now. But when I'm looking at the writing, these lyrics are very interesting. You know, on the album cover, I thought that pink thing in the sky, I always thought it was a blimp in the background, but I think it's a pig. Yeah, I will say this feels a lot darker than Dark Side of the Moon did. This album feels a lot more menacing, whereas Dark Side of the Moon feels more like meant to represent a dystopian society. Yeah. I don't know, Dark Side of the Moon feels more like you're like discovering something, whereas this feels like everything's sort of crumbling. The acoustic guitar is my favorite part of this song. Every time it comes back in, it's like... It's been 12 minutes already. Recording of the drums is incredible. The atmosphere of this song, unmatched. Like, seriously. The sound of this feels like witnessing a drastic change happening around you, which I guess is what this album is meant to be, and just being unable to do anything about it. That's what the sound of this song is like reminding me of. Something on Forrest Gump? That's an interesting point of reference. I've not watched Forrest Gump in a long time. That was like the fastest 17 minutes of my life. That was 17 minutes? My ass, that was 17 minutes. Wow. Firstly, listening to that song is making me appreciate the first track a little bit more, because that first song really is a basically perfect way of setting this song up. Secondly, oh my god, Ryan K said there was peak music incoming, and you weren't lying. That was, I don't think I could think of a more perfect Pink Floyd song, straight up. That was 17 minutes of some of the most gorgeous production you are going to hear from a 70s album. Some of the most creative, tasteful riffs and solos you are going to hear on any 70s album. Some of the most interesting lyrical content I have heard on any Pink Floyd song. And the vocals are so good. Is it both Roger Waters and David Gilmour doing vocals on this song? I'm guessing, because I know someone said there was switching vocalists. The big standout for me on this song is the acoustic guitar. Every time they brought in the acoustic guitar, it was like the best sounding section of any song ever. The pacing is so good. That didn't feel like 17 minutes at all. Yes, I feel like this song is gonna even be like surprisingly re-listenable. I could see myself coming back to this song regularly, despite its immense length. I didn't even pause once. I didn't want to. I didn't want to interrupt the song, despite the fact I was talking over it a bit. If the rest of the album, if these other two really long songs are as good as this, then we may be in for a new 10 out of 10 album. I cannot lie to you. That song is a 10. Probably the best Pink Floyd song I've heard, if not only second to Echoes. The pig on the album cover was an inflatable pig that they were gonna fly there for the album cover, but it flew away, so they just cut in a picture of it on the cover. Yeah, that was amazing. Next song, Pigs, 3 different ones. Oh yeah, the synths sounded fantastic. Next Pink Floyd album, probably Wish You Were Here. This one's reminding me of Dark Side of the Moon a little bit. It's reminding me of Time, I think. Ooh, that bass. Really nice vocal effect. You had the piano matching what the guitar was doing there. That was really cool. All of these like atmospheric sounds in the background, like the synth and stuff like that. It's just adding so much to this. You're nearly a laugh, but you're really a cry. Interesting. That's like the most standout line on the whole album up to this point, honestly. You're nearly a laugh, but you're really a cry. Got the pig sounds, of course. Okay, the pig sounds are a bit much. I know the first track had the dog sounds, but the dog barking sounds sound a lot better in terms of, like, lifting up a song as opposed to pig sounds. I'm guessing the third song is gonna have sheep sounds then. Apparently Animals underrated as well. Yeah, it has a really low critic score on Album of the Year. I think it has like a 60 or something like that. Yeah, it has a 69 critic on Album of the Year, which is insane. For like one of Pink Floyd's biggest albums to have a 69 critic score. Considering the fact that Piper at the Gates of Dawn has like a 94 critic score, only halfway through the album. And this is already a million times better than that album, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, harmonica solo, interesting. Oh, it's a 12 box on the time. The use of synths on this album is really, really nice. They sound amazing, like this album is aged incredibly. Piper at the Gates of Dawn is trash in comparison to this, you don't even hear, it just wasn't for me. Yeah, same. How do you cover though? The cover for Piper at the Gates of Dawn is really nice, yeah. Bringing back like that echo thing on the guitar, that's really cool. Bass sounds incredible, yeah, it sounds really cool. Yeah, this bit really reminds me of Time. Most punk Pink Floyd album, yeah. Fade out. You can't give me all of that in a song and end on a fade, man. God damn it. I don't really care. The rest of the song is fantastic. Ooh, wait, hold on. Great transition into Sheep. 9 out of 10? I agree. That song is like a high 9 for me. It is... Yeah, it's 9.6, 9.7. Incredible. That has since grown to be a 10. On the first listen, I really didn't like the pig sounds, and I also thought that the fade out was super weak, and it brought it down to a high 9 for me. But on a repeat listen, I think that the pig sounds aren't honestly that bad, and I even think that they add to the experience of the track and add to the atmospherics of the song, and I genuinely do think they honestly even elevate it. And also the fade out, I really don't mind, and I think it actually serves as a fantastic transition into Sheep, so I don't know why I had such a big problem with it on a first listen. This song's flawless. It's like just as good as Dogs. Like, it's absolutely fantastic. Could you guys hear that? It makes sense. We're listening to animals, and then my animals decide they want to start going crazy. The solos on this track, just as great as the first one. The vocals and lyrics on this track, just as incredible as the first one. I feel like the pacing on this one is, like, honestly even, like, more tighter. What is he barking at? Nothing happened. I don't know, still a fantastic song, regardless. Like, pacing, lyrics, vocals, everything, still top-notch. There's just a couple things that make it not quite reach 10 out of 10 stats, but still, like, fantastic regardless. Like, it's a 9.7. It's near perfect. Next up, final long-ass song, we have Sheep. Oh wait, it's called Sheep. It's gonna be calling out the sheeple of the world. People who were just following in line. Oh, I'm looking at the lyrics. That's actually what the song's gonna be about. Oh wait, hold on. That bass line is slowly creeping in. You people are sheep. That's literally what the song looks like it's gonna be talking about. Yeah, the way that bass line is like slowly creeping more and more towards the front of the mix is really, really nice. Harmlessly passing your time in grassland away, only dimly aware of a certain unease in the air. Ooh. They're not wild wolves, they're the dogs. Yeah. Yeah, the synth bass, the introduction of that just completely switched the tone of that section. The synths have aged so well. But a lot of times when there's synths like this in older stuff, they tend to not sound great as time passes, but these sound so good. Oh my god, it's a Radiohead reference, ladies and gentlemen. This album's a 10. Oh, it's the sheep fighting back, I see. I was gonna say the instrumental sort of like, it felt like it was sort of building towards an uprising. It's okay, I can fix it in post. Version, can I fix it in post? Did I set up my different audio tracks? I didn't set up the Spotify audio track, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't set up my different audio tracks. That's not good. Ending on the sound of sheep. I like that. Great transition into the final track as well. Sheep. I think that is another perfect song, to be honest. Man, all three of these longer tracks are just, they're so incredible. That firstly, they work perfectly as like companion pieces to one another. They tell such a great, like, cohesive story, with sheep sort of ending with what I'm assuming is an uprise against the dogs and the pigs that are ruling the world. Yeah, again, just instrumentally, in terms of ambition, in terms of production, this song's flawless. I feel like that's honestly my favorite written song of the three as well. I think it's a great close to what is the story of this album, and I guess Pigs on the Wing 2 is just going to be like a little conclusion piece to that. That song is like actually flawless. There was not like I love the creeping bass line at the beginning that slowly brings itself to the front of the mix and reappears at different points in the track. I love the synths on that song. The synth work on this entire album has been perfect. Like, the synths have aged so well. I think that the vocal performance on that song is also probably my favorite up to this point, especially when he starts going into like the louder, more almost like shouty singing parts as well. That song's flawless. That is the second perfect song on this 5-track album. I'm feeling a 10 on that one. Anyway, we're here. Final song, Pigs on the Wing 2. Let's see how this concludes the album. It was at this point, after realizing that I had messed up with my audio settings, that I decided to try and change the tracking of the audio midway through recording, which you can do, and I don't know why I tried to do, and you couldn't hear the song for me listening to it, so I'm just going to skip ahead to when I restart the track. It's not playing? Can you guys not hear it? Can you guys hear it now? Yeah? Okay, good. It's an acoustic guitar indeed.
So I don't feel alone on the way to the stone from Pigs on the Wing.
Firstly, incredible closer. Secondly, I think I understand. I understand now. Okay, so the pigs are the people who are running the place. They're greedy. They're stealing from everyone. Okay, the pigs are meant to represent the 1%. The dogs, I assumed that the dogs were up there with the pigs, but I think it's the other way around. I think the dogs are the people among the sheep who are actually out there fighting. While this would be an interesting theory, I don't think it's quite right. On further listens, looking further into the lyrics, I have gathered that the dogs are essentially the greedy businessmen all fighting each other to become the richest. The pigs are the top 1%, like the actual richest, who are just feeding off of everyone else in society. And then the sheep are just the common people who are refusing to fight and then eventually do fight back at the end of the 4th song. Definitely sounds rawer than other albums, works better for the themes discussed, definitely, yeah. Pigs on the Wing 2, nice closer, great job at tying together all of the themes. It also, the actual story of the album actually completely, fully clicked with me there. And I finally realized, oh wait, no, this is what it meant. Okay, this is a very necessary piece at the end of the album to make idiots like me actually understand what's going on. I appreciate that. I am feeling a flat 9 on this closer. Very, very nice. That was Animals by Pink Floyd. Pretty good. Pretty incredible. Front to back, this album is practically flawless. Production is stunning. The writing on this album is absolutely top-notch. The political messaging and storytelling is, like, it's unmatched. It's so good. The instrumentals on this album are, like, just overflowing with creativity. Like, the use of the synths, the repetition of a lot of musical ideas, like that bass line on Sheep, or the echoing guitar thing that I think was on Pigs. The vocal performances on this album were honestly the standout for me. I feel like every single song had at least like 2 or 3 moments where the vocals were just like absolutely breathtaking, and I was so endlessly impressed by that aspect of the album. And not only that, the flow of this thing is like flawless. This is only this is a 5-track album that's 41 minutes, and I feel like the flow of this thing is actually flawless. What do I think of Animals in comparison to other Floyd albums I've listened to? I think that Animals is probably the best Pink Floyd album I've heard. This album is, this album is an absolute masterpiece. I'm debating whether to even... I'm gonna just combine the first and final song into one, and sort of just have both of them be the 9 out of 10 instead of having the first and final song be separate, because they're both only minute-and-a-half pieces that are meant to like be a little context opener and a little context closer. So I'm just going to combine both of their scores into one, and then just figure out my score from there. Yeah, I'll figure out... I'll add up the scores, and then I'll tell you what my overall score for the album is. They're like 7s on their own, I agree. But in context of the album, in terms of... Yeah, like providing context, I think they're like solid 9s. I am feeling a 9.7 out of 10 on this album. That has since grown by 1 point to be a 9.8. A massive change, I know. It's very good. It's very, 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 very good. I feel like front to back, this album is just a flawless, like, a listening experience. The only problem I can say I had with this album was when the pig sounds are introduced on the song Pigs. And even despite that, I feel like I wouldn't really mind it on a casual listen. So I don't even care that much. Yeah, this is easily the best Pink Floyd album I've heard so far. Of the 3 I've heard, this is easily the best. I don't know if Wish You Were Here or The Wall are going to overtake them, but I'm excited to cover those eventually anyway. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this album down below. Do you love it? Do you think it's weak in comparison to the rest of Pink Floyd's discography? Do you think Pink Floyd as a whole are overrated? Let me know down below what you think. Make sure you subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000 subs. Let me know what other albums you would like me to listen to down in the comments as well. Links in the description to my Discord, my Twitter, my Album of the Year, and my second channel. Check those out if you haven't. You can see my reaction to Dark Side of the Moon as well on my channel, so go check that out if you haven't as well. And yeah, I will see you guys whenever I next stream or upload. Bye bye.